darling. Yes, sirree, it's little old me. That gal with the pear that makes the boys stare. And I ain't just talking about your basic Bartlett buster, Elvira, mistress of the dark. And welcome back for another crack at good old Movie Macabre. Now, this time around, we're serving up a little graveyard romp called Kill and Go Hide. I mean, not a bad idea. If you kill, you better go hide. But what they did see, they took that old childhood favorite, hide and go seek, which is sort of like pin the tail on the donkey, only not really. And then they turned it around. I mean, not the donkey, the other one. They turned it around well, I'm sure they must have had a good reason. Why do I even bother trying to explain these things? Anyway, it's called Kill and Go Hide. If I said any more, I'd probably just ruin it for you. So I'll just stop yapping long enough to let the advertisers get in a word, and then it's showtime. Deal? Deal. Stay glued. I think I already know how this story goes. See, the chick takes the shortcut through the woods, and she comes upon this big bad wolf, see? And the wolf says, "Hey, Little Red Riding Hood, what you got in that basket?" And the chick answers, "357 Magnum, dude, make my day." I know it sounds kind of like a sick premise, but after all, this is Movie Macabre. And I guess that girl didn't see the sign back on the road. Watch for falling barrels. They don't just put them signs up for the fun of it, you know. And you gotta be careful out there. And where did she come up with that junker of a clunker that she calls a car? Why, that old jalopy looked older than my heap, the old Macabre-mobile. Let me tell you about the Macabre-mobile, okay? It's a 4-passenger job. 1 steers, the other 3 push. Golly. Oh, you're watching Kill and Go Hide on Movie Macabre. We'll get right back to it after these words from the folks who pays the bills. Yeah, good night and unpleasant dreams. Boy, that little brat Rosalie has bad seed written all over her. Before this movie's over, I wouldn't be surprised to see her head do a 360. And that Lacey Ann, now that is what you call one desperate chick. And she has got herself a desperate car, an extremely desperate wardrobe, and now a desperate job. She was wondering if there were any animals out there in the woods. Well, I think she found out the hard way. Use a tissue to do that, honey, not your hand. Oh, and if they ever get around to that killing part in this picture, I hope they do a number on that guy with the sound effects record. And just on that scene in the woods alone, he managed to use every single cut on that record except the one with the chickens in the barnyard. Okie doke, we have to take ourselves a little time out right now, but we'll get right back to Kill and Go Hide. Whoopee. Well, she'll always have Movie Macabre. You know, when that old gal was asking Mr. Norden if he'd seen a rambler, I didn't know if she was talking about her dog or her car. Where do they keep digging up them old heaps? Maybe this is supposed to be like a period piece. It's like bad period. Hey, maybe the guys who put up the bread for this turkey started out in the used car business. I bet you dollars to donuts.
Donuts?
No, it's just an expression, little girl. And that's a real nice job you're doing there with your Crayolas. Actually, her drawings do have nice composition. But since she likes drawing dead people, maybe I should say nice decomposition. And I'm glad to see that she's inherited her father's sense of humor. I mean, she thought that story about the Boy Scouts and the Oleanders was a real double knee slapper. Yeah, it was a heck of a lot funnier than that time they all came down with poison oak. Wonder if old Mrs. Whitfield ever heard that Oleander story.
Why do you ask that?
Just trying to make conversation till they get the commercials threaded up, Granny. I mean, don't get your knickers in a knot. I'll be back, but don't expect her to be. Well, poor old Mrs. Whitfield ended up just like that princess telephone of hers, dead. And then, to make matters worse, it looks like them so-called friends of Rosalie's went and spread strawberry preserves all over the old gal's face. Well, that's a real nice crowd that little brat Rosalie is hanging around with. And I guess this means old Mrs. Whitfield is reunited with her dearly departed husband. But since she already talked the guy to death once, maybe this time she can talk him to life. Talk him to life? That's one of my better lines.
Aw, they're all dumb.
Nothing but critics. Just what I need, another critic. Our movie continues right after this. One more person. Well, scratch one gardener. Call that getting nipped in the bud. Or maybe in his case, maybe it's the other way around. You heard of mother of pearl? Well, that gardener had pearl of mother. Yeah, he was harboring those pearls. Of course, we've all heard of Pearl Harbor. Oh, that's so clever. And I'll tell you something about that little monster, Rosalie. And she is enough to give Halloween a bad name. I wouldn't be surprised if she carved that jack-o'-lantern of hers with a chainsaw. Had to give her 10 points, though, for using one of them trick candles from the joke store that you can't blow out. Boy, I could sure use a stiff drink right about now. You know, something to calm my nerves.
Hope you're not a nervous woman.
Well, not really, Father, but I didn't want to come off sounding like a lash. Hand me some of that hard cider, would you? Oh, boy. I'll say this cider's hard. Wow, hard as a rock. I think maybe I've got that Rosalie kid figured out. She just has these mood swings. Boy, you just look at that kid wrong and you end up on that stupid sketch pad of hers. I mean, what'd she do? Answer one of them draw me ads on the back of a matchbook? She's like a graduate of the Charles Manson Art Institute. Remember what she did to poor old Mrs. Whitfield? And then she did a number on that Japanese gardener? Well, now she's gone and done her own dad in. She even went and gave her teddy bear a bloody nose. But I am telling you, that kid is bad news.
You shut up.
Hey, you shut up! And next time, you tell me when you're gonna sneak in the room.
I don't have to tell you anything.
Oh, yeah? Will you see this hard cider, kid? Rats. I missed. Oh, well, we'll get back to the movie after these messages. Hey, come on! Will you guys knock it off with all the hammering? I got a show to do here. I mean, okay, maybe it ain't much of a show, but it's the only gig I got. I'm telling you, of all the times where I told the program director to have his office remodeled. Yeah, he was having it done in early Inquisition. Hey, have I ever shown you a picture of Attila? Yeah, that's him right there. The little woman, the kids, the family pets. Not a pretty picture, is it? Well, it's nice to see they're sticking with the Halloween motif in this movie. Halloween being one of my favorite times of the year. They've got all those graveyard ghoulies wearing cheap Halloween masks from the 5 and dime. You're not expected to hear them all yell trick or treat. Sure was lucky for Lise that she had that guy around to figure out that business with the horn. I guess you could say it gave him a new lease on life. Guess you could say that. Oh boy, thank God they're safe though. I mean, for a minute there, I thought they were all gonna be killed, and then the movie would be over and... Hey, you zombies! Get back here! Hurry up! Come on, if you gotta finish the job. Geez, I don't know which to do. I mean, cover my eyes so I don't have to watch, or cover my ears so I don't have to listen to that dame scream. It's funny how the horn honking gave them ghouls conniptions, but it doesn't seem to bother them one bit when the chick screams all the time. I mean, talk about a worthless individual. All she has done for the past 15 minutes is scream her full head off. When Len or whatever that guy's name was bashing away at them ghouls with the rifle butt, I was just hoping he would reach over and let that broad have it right across the mouth. Well, now it looks like she's all screamed out. Or maybe the director just wised up and yelled, cut. Right now, we're going to cut to a commercial, but when we return, it's the exciting conclusion. Exciting because it is a conclusion. Exciting conclusion to Kill and Go High, the movie. Now, I don't know how many of you guys read the credits at the end of these movies. In fact, I have to wonder why anybody who knows how to read would even be watching a turkey like this in the first place. But did you happen to notice that 3 guys were actually billed as additional creatures? Now, that's one for the old resume, ain't it? Let's see. Russ in West Side Story at the La Mirada Dinner Theater. Oscar Madison in The Odd Couple at the New Brunswick Playhouse. And additional creature in Kill and Go Hide. I am so sure. And speaking of resumes, it looks like that chick Elysienne better get hers out and dust it off. And she's worse off than when she started. At least she used to have wheels. She's gonna have herself a deuce of a time trying to get another job. I mean, who's she gonna put down as references anyway? And what's she gonna give for a reason for leaving her last position? She didn't like the graveyard shift? Maybe there's a TV series in this. Each week, she could go from town to town, moving in with a new family, and something terrible could happen to her. Like 1 week she could lose her, let's say her keys, and then another time she could lose her voice, and then maybe she could even lose her virgin wool sweater. Yeah, I like it. Let's run up the flagpole and see if anybody salutes. Nobody saluted. Well, according to the old clock on the wall, we're just about out of it. Time, that is. So here's a swag to bring you back. And I'll be looking for you next week. Until then, darling, may all your dreams be unpleasant dreams.